Here we go. The start of a journey that will take us to November and probably beyond. That is obviously World Cup content. Now, I know that I did something predicting Scotland's squad a week or so ago, but this is the first time I'm going to have a proper look at the actual tournament. And today we're just going to have a look at Pool A. I'll go through probably over the next week or so, look at each of the individual pools, talk about the favourites to go through, some teams to look out for, maybe what might be a shock. So we'll get into that. Now, Pool A, we're going to start with obviously. We're gonna look at the teams, the favourites, and then talk about each of the teams a little bit. So, Pool A has New Zealand, France, Italy, Uruguay, and Namibia. Now, obviously, reading out that names, if you know anything about rugby, there's two teams that stand out pretty strongly there in New Zealand and France. Those are obviously two favourites to go and win the whole thing. New Zealand being probably historically the best team in the world, and France at home being the second ranked team currently in the world to Ireland. Yeah. And I'd probably say it's 95% plus chance that it will be New Zealand and France that go through. Now, obviously, Italy are not bad at the minute. Italy are in a good place at the minute. I feel bad for them. If they had a slightly more favourable draw, I may have had them actually, as a shock gone through. If they had a Wales, an England, a Scotland, a Japan, something like that, you might start to think, can Italy sneak through the pools for what I believe is the first time ever? If you just go and check that. Yes, Italy have never made the quarterfinals. They've always gone out in the group. So, yeah, I doubt they will again this year. It'll be good for Italy, to be honest with you. They've got a very young team, and just going to World Cup, playing there, they've got Uruguay and Namibia, who are, will be games for them, but, you'd favour Italy in both those games. It'd let the young team have some experience in playing in a World Cup. They've got a couple of games there to hang. I really think Italy will should be going into this World Cup, get experience, and hope for better draw in 2027, where they might, if they get a week. Now, obviously, I couldn't sit there and say if they got Wales in their group, they'd go through in 2027, because that's 4 years away and anything can happen. France might not be anywhere near as good as New Zealand might not be, although that's very unlikely. Yeah, that's where I stand with Italy. So, they'll probably, if one of the teams was going to upset New Zealand or France, it would be Italy, but I can't see it. So, Uruguay are always an interesting team. They quite often pull off some pretty big upsets. They beat Fiji in 2019, obviously. So, it's not a foregone conclusion that Italy will beat them. I think that will really be the game that they're targeting to get a win. Obviously, Uruguay and Namibia are the two bottom ones. Now, again, Uruguay will be favourites in the Uruguay-Namibia game. They've played each other 4 times, with Namibia winning once, Uruguay winning 3 times, so slightly favoured there. And I'd probably say, no, I've not watched an over amount of these two teams, I'm going to be fair, but I'd probably say that's about right. Uruguay are favourites, but Namibia could do something. Who knows? So, as I said, there's about a 95% chance that New Zealand and France will go through. Just what order is most people's questions. And I'm going to go with my gut feeling that France will come top, followed by New Zealand. Now, unless obviously France it, which is always a possibility with France, but just their form at the minute, they seem to be able to beat everyone. and also the fact that they've got their home World Cup. The only downside I can see for that is if they'll be under a lot of pressure because of their home World Cup and them being so good at the minute, is the expectations for them to go on and do something is massive. So will they fall under the pressure? I don't think they will, but you can never tell. So I'm going to go France 1, New Zealand 2, Italy 3, Uruguay 4, and Namibia 5. I think that's going to be a heavy one. The only one I think people will argue is swapping New Zealand and France around, which, if it happens, I really wouldn't be shocked. But I'm going to go with my gut that says France is going to come top. And yeah, I mean, this pool is probably one of the most straightforward ones to predict. I think all three of the other ones have a wild card factor with a team, maybe the third ranked team, who may upset someone. But yeah, so let me know what you think. If you agree with me, if you don't, let me know. I'd love to hear your opinion. And if you enjoy the content, please subscribe. You know, we're on our way to 50. I'm just going to check. We're on 49. I'm just going to see. No, we're still on 49. Okay. We're still on 49. I'd love to get to 50. And beyond, obviously. But yeah, and I'll see you next time.